Welcome, viewers, to Vampire the Masquerade Swansong. We have here for you a bit of a teaser of one of the early levels in Swansong, and, well, I should do my bit as host and introduce the individuals who you will be seeing and hearing on your screen. There is, of course, myself. Some people know me as the gentleman, other people know me as Matthew Dawkins. I have been called much worse by others. And my role here is both to act as host and somewhat lore master of the world of darkness, so that I can fill in some of the blanks for anyone who may not be too familiar with Vampire the Masquerade, and provide various teasers for people who are familiar. But I am joined by another expert, a fantastic gentleman in his own right. I'm joined by Eliot. Eliot, perhaps you could explain to the viewers your role when it comes to Swansong.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much, Matthew, for the introduction. I am a lead quest designer, that's a lot of words. Lead quest designer here at Big Bad Wolf Studio. I am actually streaming from the studio, and everyone in the team is so happy that I'm talking right in their ears right now.
I'm sure, but neither of us are the star of this Let's Play. Rather, that's going to be one of our three protagonists in Swansong, Galeb Batsori, who you will come to know very shortly. As mentioned, we're here to talk about Swansong, which is currently available for pre-order on PC, Epic Games, on PlayStation, on Xbox, at vampire-swansong.com. So do pre-order it, because there's various bonuses you can get for pre-ordering. Do check it out on the website. I'm personally going for the Primogen set, but you know, that's my taste. I like to rule. I like the governance side of Vampire the Masquerade. Let's get into our game. Let's get into Swansong and see what the game has to offer. I should note, this is a work in progress version, but don't let that daunt you. I doubt very much that we're going to come across many hiccups, but as always in this industry, things are being tweaked to the last possible minute, and I'm sure you will enjoy what we have to show you.
Well, I sure hope. So let's switch to the gaming scene right there. And as you mentioned, we are actually going to meet Galeb right now. Well, and his wonderful character sheet. Because as you maybe mentioned before, Swansong is a narrative RPG, and coming from the Vampire the Masquerade World of Darkness universe, we are, of course, obligated to offer player with a character sheet to actually fill with the experience point you acquired during your previous quest.
Well, exactly. There's lots of ways to play through Swansong. There's lots of potential routes. There's going to be characters that you can help. There'll be characters you can kill. There'll be characters you might kill or help on your other playthroughs through it. And a lot of that comes down to not just your choices, but also your abilities. So, for instance, during the course of play, Galeb and the other protagonists are going to be engaged in dialogue, and certain options will be available to them based on certain traits that they possess. Likewise, if you are exploring an area, some people are going to be more attuned to seeking out secrets, whereas others may have to take more of a blunt force approach. There's an awful lot of interaction in this game. It's a role-play heavy game, so that means the decisions you make during dialogue with the various NPCs you interact with, of which there are many, all with lots of interesting characters, are crucial to the way that the story plays out.
Absolutely, and the first thing you can notice is on this character screen, you've got the skills, which are the very human ability of our character, but of course taking this to a vampire level, so something quite different. But you also got the discipline, which are unique vampire abilities that humans surely do not have, and that you can also improve and upgrade at your will.
Yes, As anyone familiar with Vampire the Masquerade may have noticed, it does say Galeb is a Ventru, member of the clan of kings, the patricians, the blue bloods, the lords, call them what you like. I have many friendly names for them myself. And, being a big worshipper and admirer of the Ventru, of course. But one thing you may notice is Galeb has more than the standard 3 disciplines we associate with each clan. Yes, he has the Ventru affinity for fortitude, for presence, and for dominate that you can see. He also has some auspex, which is going to help him. And part of the reason for that is, well, Galeb is the eldest of our protagonists. Therefore, he has access to a little more Vitae-driven power than some of our other characters that are more, a little closer to the human level of power.
Absolutely. So I'm just gonna finish with, I don't know, maybe taking a social attributes, which is gonna help in case of dialogue if we actually happen to have the same score as our opponent, because these character sheets that you see here, Galeb and our main protagonist, one of our 3 main protagonists has a character sheet, but every NPC in this world also has one. So every time you're going to talk to someone, you're going to fight face to face with their abilities. So we better come prepare. And I think that's good for the character sheet. So we can actually start right there.
Yeah, I think so. We're going to be aiming to be a little bit intimidating. We're going to be pushing our weight around a little. After all, we do have the benefit of age that comes with being a vampire several hundred years old. And just as we're about to dive in, I will remind viewers that the official game release date is May 19th, 2022. On the platforms I've already cited, so do pre-order to get your copy on release.
And on these good words, let's dive in.
Nice badge.
Keep an eye on the elevator. I'm gonna go wait for forensics.
Okay. Let me know when they get here.
Excuse me.
So Eliot, I've seen this level several times now, and I have a query in my mind.
Yes.
And that is, where does Galeb put the body of the FBI agent?
we've discussed a lot about it. It was like, the question was, do we show it? Like, we had a lot of idea, and we were like, maybe he's just like dominate to actually make him go away. Maybe he's just plainly kill him and put it somewhere around the elevator. And we decided not to answer this question and to be like, something clearly happened, but the what isn't actually told in this story.
Not the biggest mystery in the game, but one that's been on my mind. So as we can see, we've entered a very plush-looking lobby, and there is a reason we are here. We're on a mission, an objective that's been set for us by our prince, who you will find out more about during the course of gameplay. But Prince Hazel, I should say, Iverson.
Absolutely, Hazel.
Of the city of Boston, and much more if she gets her way. But why are we here, Eliot? Maybe you could give the rundown.
Well, Swansong, as a story, it starts off with a bang, and there was a party, a reunification party, in between some members, of the Camarilla, and they were having a party because they were reunificating and trying finally kind of making a peace treaty. And the thing is, the party didn't go as planned, and there was an attack. We don't know from who, we don't know what happened exactly. So Hazel has sent our 3 heroes, turns out, to investigate on what happened. And Galeb has been sent to the apartment of Jason Moore, which is kind of the treasurer. He kind of deals with every investment made by the Camarilla from Boston. every places the Camarilla has money, he actually, well, he's aware of. So he's a really important member of the Camarilla.
But as we can see, we've arrived to find cops on the scene. That never bodes well. So let's see what we can do to get access to his apartment.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's talk to this policeman.
Special Agent Smith.
The FBI! Finally, some backup. Lieutenant's expecting you. Straight ahead. Watch out for the bloodstains. Forensics hasn't been through here yet.
Got it.
Well, something has happened in this apartment. Like, there's a lot of bloods coming everywhere.
The victim lost a lot of blood.
And as you said, it's not a good sign.
No. Viable mortals are hard to find. I'm a little concerned that the corpse is wearing my suit.
It sure do resembles.
Lieutenant Anderson, I'm in charge of the investigation.
Special Agent Smith, FBI.
Really? Smith? Is that some kind of joke?
No, why?
Let it go. Never mind. I'll give you the DL. We got a call from the caretaker around 2:15. He told us that one of his residents was brought in with an injury carried by his bodyguards. We sent a squad car that got here around 2:45.
So right there, you can actually ask every question you want about what happened. Is the caretaker? Who was the first person there? There's a lot of options you can actually go from, but this time we're just gonna move on to the next part of the DL.
Okay.
Okay, then what?
When they stepped inside, the guys came face to face with that.
Do we know who the victim is?
Yeah, he had his ID on him. It's the owner, a guy named Jason Moore. I don't know who this guy pissed off, but things didn't work out too well for him.
So
Did you secure all the
this is
exits and
awkward.
entrances to the building?
Yes,
Yes, we got
rather.
them on the ground floor and in the parking garage.
If the individual we're
How do you get to the
seeking
parking
is
garage?
missing a head,
You'll have to ask the
it is going
caretaker.
to make
He's the one
questioning
who took my
him
men down there.
slightly trickier.
Yeah.
There's various clans in Vampire, the Hecata for one, who are skilled at extracting knowledge out of spirits, but sadly Galeb is not one of the Clan of Death. So yeah, we're going to have to do some nosying around instead and see what secrets we can find in the apartment area. Maybe we'll even find the guy's head.
Yeah, maybe, because there is actually a lot of questions to answer if we cannot actually talk to him. So, once again, you can actually go into a lot of dialogues about who was the bodyguards, what do they know about Jason Moore, and more about his family. And once again, we're just gonna go right ahead.
Go on.
We're still looking for the head. We're waiting on forensics for everything else, but they're busy with another case.
And the other case, well, it's actually the one I was
What
talking right
case?
about, the attack
You haven't heard?
on another place
At
in
one international
Boston.
place. They say it was a real bloodbath. So, you're here to take over the case?
No. I'm working on something else. Moore's name popped up in one of our investigations, but I can't talk about it.
Okay, I'll let my team know.
You know, Galeb is good at the
Agent
bluffing.
Smith from the
He's
FBI
not
is
so
We're still in charge of the
adept with
investigation,
it when it
so
comes to
please
sense of humor.
cooperate with him.
He's known for being something of a steel rod of the Camarilla in Boston. He has blood connections to the area. In fact, one of the members of the Primogen is his child, as you will find out during the course of gameplay. His role in the domain is something some kindred consider it slightly unusual, why such a powerful vampire hangs around in such a young domain as Boston feels. But he has his reasons.
So maybe it's time to take a look at the body. Like, what can that thing can tell us? So as you can see here, if I had enough deduction point, I would have been able to, well, know more about the wound. For now, I can already take a look.
He was decapitated. It was a pretty clean cut.
There must be a sword involved or something like that.
Yeah. Sharp blade.
And here you can see I have enough deduction point for this one. So actually I can learn a little. We're gonna just examine first just to
Bullet
start
wound in
somewhere.
the right hip.
Okay. So there was a bullet. What can you tell us?
The flesh is burnt around the bullet hole, over a wide area. He was shot at point-blank range. No doubt about it.
Okay. So as you can see, based on my skills level, I can actually just access to more details about what I can look at. And of course, it's going to also unlock some other parts of the level based on level in security or technology. It's also allowing access to, well, dialogue parts, and we're going to see this in just a few moments.
A signet ring with a beaver on it. Moore went to MIT.
So this is looking bad for us if that really is Jason Moore. Take a look at this.
Moore's driver's license.
Well, it seems like it should Jason Moore paper. And if we take a look using the, as you said, the aspects, well, very small aspects power of Caleb, could actually there's an aura right there. And if I use some of my, well, if I fill some of my hunger, I can actually try to find what types of aura it is.
Yeah, hunger is a pressing concern in this game. When you use your vampiric disciplines, you are, of course, going to be expending some of that precious blood inside your body. So do, viewers, be careful about overuse. It will compel you to feed from some hapless innocent if you're not too careful. One thing I can tell the viewers is at least this decapitated body, Jason Moore or not, isn't a vampire. As you know, when you decapitate a vampire, they disintegrate into a pile of greasy ash. And so, whether that's reassurance or not, I don't know, but at least it gives the police something to investigate.
Yeah. And you can see some of blood stain on the floor, so maybe we can actually start following that into the living room. See where that leads us.
The apartment has changed since my last visit.
And there seems to be someone crying there. That happens to be the caretaker, and I heard from the first dialogue that he has a lot to tell us, notably about a parking garage or something. Well, let's find out.
Mr. Adams?
No. This can't be happening. What a nightmare. So much blood.
I've got a few questions.
I tried to help him. I told him we should call 911. I told him.
So he clearly is like very agitated. He's having a hard time with the Jason Moore death, disappearance, or shall we say. And here you can see an example of what I was talking about, like how skills and discipline can actually unlock some way to talk to some individuals. Right there, since the caretaker is so, he's so taken by the death of Jason Moore, we have to calm him down in order to talk to him. And there are several ways to do that. Right there, I can use the intimidation. I haven't put any skill points in psychology, so I cannot actually use that skill. But as you can see, I don't have enough intimidation point. I can actually still take the option, but it's gonna end up in a fail, and I won't be able to talk to him. But
Seems likely.
Yeah. But what I can do, I can actually focus my skill. Just it's gonna cost me more of skill points, as you can see on the top left of the screen. But I have way better chances of success. I can actually upgrade to 4.
That's a lot of focus we're pouring into that, and if we do this.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is where players will have to manage. Like, do they want to? Because this is only for a choice, like a single choice, and not, of course, the entire level. So it's, as you said, it's using a lot of skill points to a choice. But right there, since Ethan is a human, a prison shall be like a way easier method to actually obtain the information we want.
Well, I think it's the safe option.
Sir, listen to me. It's all right. Calm down. You're safe and you did the right thing.
I did the right thing.
I need you to answer a few questions for me.
Yes, of course. What do you want to know?
So right there, as I was talking before, you can have a lot of dialogue options to learn a lot more about a lot of parts of what's happening in Jason's Moore life. But just in order to keep it short, we're gonna go straight to the parking garage. Like, it's interesting to know that there is somewhere else we can actually maybe find more clues about what's happening here.
We don't want to spoil everything for the viewers of this part. There's parts you will want to explore for yourselves.
Absolutely. We're going to try to keep it at a minimum just in order to let you explore your way.
The lieutenant told me there was an access to the basement.
Yes, using the service elevator through the kitchen. You need a magnetic pass to use it. I gave the spare to your colleagues who wanted to go down there. I still have the original. Do you want it?
Please.
Okay, we're gonna leave him from now. We have like a magnetic card, but we still have a blood trail to follow.
Thank you for your statement.
You have to find out who did this, officer. Justice needs to be done for him. And for his family.
And we need to find out who's messing with us. That's what we're here for.
Still focused on the job.
Stick around in case we have more questions.
That's the thing, viewers. If you make an attack on the treasurer to the court, someone close to the prince, that is seen by some kindred as an attack on the Camarilla, the fundaments of what make our vampiric society what it is, mortal or not. So, you do need to find out whether the attack on Moore is connected in any way to the explosive party from earlier, or whether it's a separate threat.
So if we are following the bloodstain, actually come upstairs. Just a little quick.
Quite a view over Boston. Jason Moore was moneyed, that's for sure.
Yeah, yeah. Of course, it's actually quite a comfortable might not be the right choice of words, but it's a comfortable situation, money-wise.
Yeah, well, being in good with the prince is never a bad thing. Unfortunately, as we know with the, especially with the previous Prince of Boston, being in good with the prince can be quite a mercurial affair. You may not remain in favor for long. But I'm given to understand Hazel is an even-handed, even-minded Prince of Boston.
Yeah, she's not made of the same material from than Quentin King. Well, the previous prince.
No.
That
Well,
sure is.
Thank goodness for that. So, all right, let's have a look around this dirty scene, shall we?
Yeah, absolutely. So the blood trail seems to stop there,
a wound.
because it seems someone actually tried to patch himself right
Bottle
there.
of disinfectant, obviously handled by someone who was bleeding.
Not someone bleeding from the neck.
Yeah, absolutely. This is another weird thing. So the trail stopped there, but there's a lot to see right there on the bed. A lot of affair, Jason Moore. Here's a smartphone.
A cell phone. Locked, of course.
But of course, it is locked.
Of course.
So we can try to just advise, but I don't think this is gonna help. So we're gonna take it with us, and we will see if we can actually get it up and later. Maybe we can actually take this. You remember, right at the beginning, we needed to be, documenting ourselves and taking back some files, some financial files, to, make them disappear from the scene. The Camarilla secret, and that is one of the files from someone from the Primogen, Burial Underwood.
loathsome
Oh,
individual
will you
in my
ever
encounters
change?
with him. I hate to cast too much bad water over Mr. Underwood, but I do find him one of the more creepy members of the council.
Yeah, that's. I share your views.
Now,
So that's
the prince
one of
asked
the
more
goals.
for a complete report on the members of the Primogen.
So Azels is apparently like conducting like investigation of members of the Primogen. So it seems the Camarilla isn't like, well, once again, it is in Boston. It is full of secrets and full of, well, plots and more dangerous, dangerous one. And here we can actually find a car key. Oh, well, this is actually still. This could be useful in the parking garage.
Hmm. And again, as you can see, viewers, there's an awful lot you can still check out. As mentioned, we're not going to look at absolutely everything in this playthrough. We want to leave some mysteries for you to uncover. Some are incidental, some are incredibly pertinent, and it all adds to the world building of Swansong.
It is actually Jason Moorchild. It is the bedroom for June, daughter. There's once again a lot to see.
June's whole life
here.
in pictures. June celebrating her 4th birthday.
She is, well, like a lot of child, she likes smartphones and she wants to actually use her dad's smartphone. And she actually found a way to actually crack the code of her father's phone. And she trained herself because it's a visual code. She trained herself. She's telling us she trained on her blackboard. So right there we can actually go back to our inventory. Well, if we wanted, we could also use our technology ability skill to unlock the phone, but this is costing a lot. So we're just gonna enter the code now that we think we got the right one. And that's the good one. So here we can actually access some messages with Lydia.
Most of their exchanges look perfectly normal, except, well, here. There's obviously a clear amount of tension, as exists in any relationship, but as things build to a head, clearly things are becoming a little more desperate.
Yeah,
And,
absolutely.
You know, if you get in bed with vampires, not saying Lydia or Jason are vampires, but if you get into deals with vampires, that can put a strain on your normal daylight life.
I'm not used to actually use the controller. I'm kind of a PC player.
Jason, my cousins didn't show up after all. Stay home if you haven't left, or meet me at Hazel's house if you want. Call me back and tell me where you are.
Seems Beryl is really like he worked closely with Jason Moore. I don't know on what, but it sure seems shady, as Beryl kind of always is.
Yeah, well, there's several members of the Primogen Council. Some people may get on with Beryl perfectly fine. I certainly have my doubts about him, and I know Caleb does after many years of history together.
Absolutely. We're gonna try to explore a little more over there. And I don't know if you remember, just a little before, we Aspect's ability to find out that there was in here. And it seems that she has been touching a lot more elements of the scene around here.
Nobody told me there would be a retainer
This
here.
person happens to be the goal we were looking for. So let's try to confront her. Why is she here? And, well, who sent her?
What are you playing at?
Oh, I beg your pardon?
Don't mess with me. Who are you?
Calm down, Mr. Bazori. I meant no disrespect. I work for the council.
Why would the council have sent her without warning me?
Most of the time, they send me to clean up.
Are you behind this?
No, I got here after it happened.
What's that file you've got?
Oh, an account file. Have it. Here you go.
Okay.
Thank you.
Let's see how much she knows.
Now, for anyone unaware,
What
a
have you
ghoul
found?
or retainer
Oh, I'm a little embarrassed.
is a
not really allowed to
blood-addicted
talk about my
slave
missions.
to a vampire. This is a mortal who has tasted vitae from a vampire. That's the blood in a vampire's system. And they grow addicted to that blood, but they also gain immense strength and will through taking that blood. And it's rumored even immortality. But it does come with some side effects, notably a skittishness, a certain obsessive devotion to their master. If you're familiar with Renfeld in the story of Dracula, you'll know the kind of individual a ghoul can become. Some are more stable than others.
So maybe let's try to dominate her, just to, well, show her who is around here.
Yeah.
I don't have time for this. Give me what you have.
What I've got. Of course, sir. Here. That's everything.
You made the right choice. Tell me exactly what they asked you to do.
I got a message at 2:20 telling me to go to this address. I was supposed to pick up more and some financial documents. After that, I was supposed to wait for further instructions.
I think we may lose it in a not crowded, but there are definitely witnesses around. So let's just go for continue for the time being.
Yeah, I would go.
Well,
I hope I'm not going to have any trouble.
Well, we're gonna tell her to leave, or maybe
Yes.
she'll order.
Let's go for tell her to leave. Again, as you say, it's going
Okay.
to be a big expenditure of blood.
I'll tell the prince you obeyed your orders, but you'd better go.
But my mission. I've got to.
No questions, Lane.
Very well, Mr. Bazori.
That's for the better.
Yeah. Though it does throw out an interesting part of this mystery. There's a servant of the council in this apartment, and you are here at the behest of the prince. Are you working on the same thing, or are you working
In
at
Moore's
cross
office,
purposes?
Yeah, what's happening exactly here? And there's actually a lot of well, we're going very quickly over a lot of details, so I'm not going to spoil too much out. But right now, what we want to do is try to replenish, try to just drink a little bit of blood, just because our anger, as we said, is dangerously high. But for that, we need to find a safe zone, a spot where mortals won't actually come. This room is locked, so we're gonna pick it up, and thanks to our skill security.
Yeah, we have plenty of skill points right now. We've been leaning quite heavily on the disciplines.
Absolutely.
Which
Now we
tends
found
to be a tactic of elders and sabbats sometimes, but Galeb is thankfully not the latter. Just an older vampire.
So we found a safe spot, so right now we just need a victim. Maybe we should actually take this fight first, because it seems to concern Dajan Siaka, which is another member of the Primogen. Was our right at the beginning.
Jean, are you making plans in case things go south? Or are you planning to leave us?
Take it with us, and we're actually, well, we actually care of a lot of goals right there. And as you are seeing above the head of this
is where I met
NPC,
Moore for the first time.
it is telling that this NPC is compatible with, well, the, how can I say this? What you know, as you know, vampires have different like affinity in terms of eating. I'm forgetting the word in English.
Well,
eating
in the
habits.
case, yeah, Galeb is a member of Clan Ventru, and they're known somewhat for their feeding restrictions or preferences, depending on how you want to put it. And yeah, Galeb is certainly drawn to this individual.
Absolutely. And we're gonna bring into the safe zone in order to feed
I need
on
to
that poor
see
fella.
you
I'm
there.
sorry.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, there's nothing romantic about this feed.
unfortunately, I haven't been able to control my beast, so I think the spell had died in my hand. But at least I have a lot of hunger. Well, I replenished a lot of my hunger.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, if it means if you need to run away at speed, you may be able to do so.
Exactly. So that NPC also had a resonance, something that I would have been able to take a look at if I used if I had a complete aspects power, but Caleb doesn't. So you won't be able to find each resonance of blood types. But here it's granting me a bonus in terms of experience points at the end of the quest. So right now we've explored quite a lot, but of course far from everything from the scene. So what we will do is we're gonna actually try to solve a major problem, a major puzzle, sorry, that there is in the game. But we're gonna just skip to the part that we don't want to show you like the password or the way you can actually open that that part of that path of the level.
Mm-hmm.
So we're just gonna skip to the part where we actually open it. Well, first thing, seeing a blade, like crumpled blood right there is I think it's a good indication that we're on the right track.
Yeah, there's something to be said for retainers that wield sharp blades, katanas and the like, especially silver ones. I recommend them.
So it turns out we actually found Jason Moore, so I think we should definitely talk to him.
Huh? What the...
Good evening, Jason.
Mr. Bazori, how did you...
Maybe think about letting us know the next time you build a private bunker.
It's just that...
She sent me to find you.
No. Not now. She found out about everything, didn't she?
I don't understand anything you just said, but get up. We're going.
I can't. I absolutely have to catch a plane tonight.
I don't think that's going to happen.
I'm begging you. Please, just let me go.
This dialogue is actually a good example of how we actually try to take into account what players did in the quest. Right there, Caleb doesn't make any sense of what actually Jason Moore is saying, because we actually skipped a lot of elements in the game, a lot of elements in the quest that can inform us on what's happening in Jason Moore's life. Why did it make it look like there was a murder? Did he make it? Was he forced to make it? Why did he hide in there? So, and here Caleb doesn't know anything about that because you did not find any of the evidence leading to that conclusion. But if you did, we would have a different dialogue right there.
Exactly.
It turns out we don't have enough point in psychology or in deduction, so we can actually just skip it to the part that we try to extract Jason Moore from here, because I don't know, Caleb is kind of straight to the point. I'm a fan of
Let's
that.
try and force him to his feet.
Let's do this.
We've wasted enough time here. Get up.
I'm not going to be able to go with you, Mr. Bazori. I've lost too much blood. I'm having a hard time staying conscious.
I must take you back to the prince, and that's exactly what I'm going to do.
I'm begging you. I've always refused. I want to stay free.
I'm not really giving you a choice. Drake.
This is, as I mentioned, that you can make someone your ghoul by feeding them your vitae. There's all kinds of traits in this game, not just
That's
related
enough.
to hunger, related to
June will
your
die
Masquerade
if you don't let me
suspicion
go.
levels, related to skill
Stay
points,
behind
as we've already seen. There's lots of things you can factor into play that will affect the outcome of all kinds of encounters.
Absolutely. So right now we gotta exfiltrate Jason Moore from an apartment that is filled with police agents. So this
What
is
can go
gonna-
wrong?
Yeah,
Stay
absolutely.
behind me.
What could go wrong? I think we should feed Arnon.
Oh,
Just,
Agent Smith.
Yeah.
I mean, better make it disappear.
Bazori, what are you doing?
Well, it's on orders of the prince. I'm sure she'll forgive us.
Well, I do
I
hope
like
so.
I like the blood on the teeth and the gums. Visually, it's a nice touch.
Yeah, our FX artist did a lot of work on that thing. So that's one out of our ways. No. Now we should be cautious about hunger, so we're gonna try the physical approach.
Yeah.
Okay, that seems to happen pretty well.
If, in case you're not getting the right impression, Galeb isn't necessarily the nicest of vampires.
No.
For viewers. He's very straight to the point. When you've been around a few hundred years, you quickly grow used to having to make snap decisions that involve snapping necks.
I like what you do. Or isn't it a based off shape, but you know, we sure are out of... Oh.
Hey, stop! Don't move! Put your hands behind your head, damn it! On the ground!
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna shoot!
That's enough, officer.
My head. Shit.
That's better.
Yeah, we could have been more brutal.
Don't
Wait,
you move a
hands
muscle!
on your head.
Hands behind your head!
Let's be more brutal.
Yeah. You are.
Yeah.
Don't you
I
move.
think this
I
one
swear to
is
God.
the...
You got him? Get in the elevator, Jason.
That's brutal enough.
Yeah, I would say so. So yes, if you were expecting a nice kids' gloves vampire game where everyone is friendly and kissing and dancing and making merry, Swansong may actually be a little too horrific. That's the thing. It's very easy to assume a narrative RPG is constantly going to be holding you by the hand. This is not the case. The characters you play and interact with in this game can be pretty vile and brutal.
More needs to come with me.
And we're crossing
Mr.
again
Bazori.
past with Danali, and
We
which
work
did
for the
not
same
obey us
person.
because we actually did not use our discipline on it. So we're gonna have to bring more, well, give her more back, so...
And let's just hope the Primogen and the Prince are working together.
Well, let's hope. And maybe once again, if we took a closer look about what's happening in the quest, maybe we would have found a little more details about that. So...
I dread to think what our grade would be through this Let's Play, Eliot.
I'm sorry, what?
I dread to think what our grade would be on this playthrough. We missed so much.
Yeah,
we made
absolutely.
so many lethal decisions.
Absolutely, and you can actually see this on the end level screen, where we actually list every details that you succeeded at, or what you could have done differently, or what you simply did not do. You can see there are still a lot of suspicious items to be, or well, a lot of things that we failed, and also traits that our character had obtained during the playthrough, like and something that will actually have an impact on skills and discipline and the ability you will have in your character sheets for the next quest. So I think that is all for for that part of the playthrough.
I would say so. Now, viewers, if you have enjoyed this, if you want to see what happens around it before and after, and tackle this yourself, just remember, the game is released on May 19th. You can pre-order it now on PC, on Xbox, on PlayStation. I understand it will be coming to Nintendo Switch in the future. So it's going to be available across all popular platforms, and we would really love it if you checked it out. And I think most of all, what interests me as someone who writes Vampire and various other role-playing games is hearing how different people tackle the same scenario. It's one of the things I often of when I'm writing a scenario for the tabletop role-playing game. It's how would one group get through this differently to another, and this game is perfect for that kind of quandary. Finding out, well, this person took it with complete subtlety, we happen to just break necks, break sternums, drain blood, and dominate people into killing themselves. So, yeah, there's lots of ways to play.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's kind of funny because I did not remember that Dan Ali Hain, the girl we just crossed path with, I did not remember that just telling her to leave wasn't enough. So I really thought she wouldn't be here at the end, and I was like, oh, she's here. Right, we should have used our power, I knew it.
Well, we may have needed it later. That's the thing. You have to make these quick decisions. And I should mention to anyone on the subject of pre-orders, if you pre-order Swansong on consoles, you will also get a copy of Coteries of New York. So if you are fond of Vampire the Masquerade, not just as a TTRPG, but as a CRPG, as visual novel and narrative RPG, Coteries of New York is a fantastic supplement to your play of Swansong. It adds a whole new avenue of access into the world of darkness, so very much recommend it.